In today's video, I want to bring you in my process for surface pattern design. I am working on a mini collection. Usually I work in mini collections unless I know that I need to deliver a full collection of 8 to 12 designs with 3 different colorways. And as I continue to upload videos into this channel, I'll show you a little bit more about my process and how I develop those collections. But today I have a mini collection that I've already started. I have here what I would consider my hero pattern, and I have this one that it's a little bit more sparse and some florals, and this one I would consider one of my coordinate patterns, and I am needing one more pattern to complete a mini collection with a minimum of 3. Usually I do 3 or 4 as part of my mini collections. Today I want to create this blender pattern, and I am thinking, because these two patterns are already very dense and they have a lot of already art in them, they feel a little bit dense and need something very, very simple. I'm thinking of a set of stripes. So I'll bring you into the full process of how I do a stripe using my watercolors, a stripe blender pattern using my watercolors. So first, one thing, these colors that I've been using for this mini collection are the same colors that I used in this mixed media background that I created. And the first thing I want to do, because I want to use the same colors maybe for backgrounds or anything later on, I am now in Affinity Photo. So the first thing I want to do here is create my palette from my artwork. So in order to create that palette from my artwork, I go over to the swatches and I click on the 3 lines they call the burger menu, and then I will create a palette from document, and from this specific document, and I want to use it as an application palette so I can use it over in my Affinity Designer, so that I can use it maybe to pick colors for backgrounds and for recoloring as well. So the first thing is, let's make that palette. It created a mixed media abstract. It used the same name as the document, mixed media abstract. The first thing I want to do when I have it there, then I want to go and link the palette so I can find it when I move over to my Affinity Designer. So now that I have that, I want to use these and maybe pick 3 areas where I want to pick some of the colors. I want to pick an area where I have blues and reds, and another area where I have purples. So I can do it 2 ways. I can do the rectangular marquee tool, or I can just use the freehand selection tool. So I'm going to start with the rectangular marquee and then maybe pick a few areas. Like I like this one, and I am going to Control C to copy and Control V to paste, and it pastes it in a new layer. Then select a new second area here. I kind of like this area here with these little blooms down here. And then the same thing, go back to my original layer, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Make sure that I have both, yes. Then go back to my original with the full design, and I like this bloom over here, so I want to pick some of that. So let's select a little bit of it, and the same, make sure you're in the correct layer, Control copy, Control paste. And now I will hide the original, and I have hit escape, and I have 3 things are usable for my pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that, and then I'm going to move over to Affinity Designer to create my pattern. So first I want to create a pattern anew, and I usually use 24 by 24 at 300 dpi. So you go here where it says layout, 24 inches by 24 inches, 300 dpi. I don't usually create an artboard The colors, I just leave it the way it is. I like a transparent background. I'm fine with this grayish little background. No margins, no bleed, and no scale. So just the layout. And if you want to say that, all you have to do is to here create a preset and then just add it to your presets here. The reason why I choose 24 by 24 is because, as you see, a lot of my artwork is pixel based already, so I want to have it as large as possible. So if I need a larger size, I have it available, and I don't have to shrink or expand or shrink my artworks, because I want to avoid any type of pixelation. So that's why I use 24 by 24, but you don't need anything that big unless you are using it for large scale type of applications. So let's hit create. The first thing I want to do is I want to create a simple template so that I can see my pattern complete as I start building it. So let's create a rectangle with a full selection. And in that rectangle, I want to remove the fill, and I just want to have the stroke, and I want to just go to the stroke panel and just make it maybe a little bit, like 6 pixels is fine. Scale with object, I usually just click on that, although it's not needed because we're not going to scale it. This is just for my initial template. And then with that, what I want to do is I want to build the grid around it, so that I can see how my pattern repeats. So first I want to go to my window and I want to select my symbols, and this rectangle I want to turn it into a symbol, so whatever I create inside that rectangle I can repeat. So I just click on the rectangle that I already have selected and then just hit create. So it's going to create that symbol for me. Now I select that symbol, go back to my move tool, and I click Alt to duplicate, and I just make sure that I have it duplicated around. Let's just put it here in each one of the 4 corners first, and then I'll bring it back. Okay, so that created these 4 symbols for me. The next thing I want to do is I want to create another rectangle separate from that, just to create a background. And to this one I want to fill. I don't need a stroke, I just need a fill, and let's use some kind of light color. And then now it's not showing, so what you want to do for it to show, it's you want to go to view, and you want to go to view, I think in view mode you can select clip to canvas. And remember, I like using the shortcuts in my keyboard, so it's the backward slash. So every time I say clip to canvas, backward slash, moving forward. So you click on that, and then you start seeing everything outside your initial canvas. So let's move it all the way down at the bottom of my layers, and let's center it. Okay, so it's centered. I can see it's centered, and okay, I just need it a little bit bigger because I want to go outside of my grid. And then what I want to do is I want to select them, and Control G groups them. Inside this group I just pick one of them, and then I just fill the other areas. And now I have my grid, but all I need, again, I'm going to hit clip to canvas so you see where is the tile. This is the actual tile. This is a 24 by 24, but I again clip to canvas, which is the backward slash, and then I can see everything. Okay, so now I have my grid for a pattern. I'm just gonna rename it here, and this group is the repeats. Now I just lock it. Usually just lock it because I don't want to be moving things around, since I'm going to be working with my stripes now to create that simple blender pattern. Okay, now that we have the template, the next thing we have to do is to bring in the stripes. And so I want to go back to my Affinity Photo, select the layers that I want to bring in, and control or right click copy, and then head over to my Affinity Designer and right click and paste. So now I have all three stripes here, and when you click on them you can see that they came in at a size that it's based on 1200 dpi, which is the size that I scanned my artwork. I scanned it to the maximum that I could from in my specific scanner. You may have one that can scan bigger, and that's perfectly fine. So the one thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that I have them aligned here at the top, and once I have them aligned, I want to I want to get them to a let's see, I want to get them all the way down to 24 inches, all three of them. And when you look at it, when we expand, we're still at 560 dpi, which is more than the 300 minimum that I like to use, so that's good. And then the same thing for this one, it's 24, it's 560 dpi, so we're good. So the next thing we need to do is to make sure that it will repeat. Click on the layer, go ahead and duplicate. I use Ctrl J, and then the next thing you want to do is okay, so here duplicate, then flip vertical, and then align. Make sure that both of those duplicates are aligned, and then do the same thing for the last one. Just go ahead and select Ctrl J duplicates, and then you want to flip vertical and align them together. And that's all you have to do. The next step, we're going to group them together, and then we are going to make sure that they're in a single layer. This bottom part here, it's going to align seamlessly with this top part right here. So that's going to work. The next thing I want to do is to select both of them and group them. Same thing, select both of them, make sure they're all aligned, and doesn't matter. Okay, so then group them, select both and group them. Now the next thing I want to do is to go each one of the groups, go ahead and right click on it and rasterize so that they're all in the same layer. The same thing, right click, rasterize, still in the same layer, and right click, rasterize, they're all now in one layer. And now what I can do is I can make them back into my smaller strip that is the 24 by 24, and I know that my top and bottom are going to repeat. So let's try that. Now let's go ahead and hit Alt, make a copy of it, and make sure that I'm close enough to see, and make sure they're aligned, and they are going to look so it's going to kind of look a little bit like that once they're together. There's a tiny line there, but it's okay. Let's try. So it's looking good on that end. It gives me a little bit different layout, so that's just a test. It's looking good. The next thing we have to do is to find that specific area where we like right in the middle, and we need to clean this up. And in order to do that, I have to go either to Affinity Publisher or Affinity Photo, because I want to use the clone stamp tool. what I'll do here is file, save, and then I want to close it, and I want to open it here in File, Open in Affinity Photo, and I have my border, the blender pattern, and I'm right here in the center, and it opens my file. And what I can do is quickly clean this up. So I want to go ahead and select this stripe, go to my clone stamp tool. I have 15 pixel, maybe 20 pixel, 100% opacity. Flow is at 100% and the hardness 55, something relatively small. And then you hit with the clone stamp tool selected, hit Alt and pick an area that you want to clone from, and then just clone and clean up that line as best as you can. It's looking good. Now I want to select a different area, so just hit Alt, select a different area, and okay, looks good. I'm going to actually so it removes that little stripe, and it looks interesting. The same thing with the second one. Go to the selection tool, select the stripe, go to the clone brush tool, hit Alt, that selects the area where you want to clone from, and just clean it up from there. Just do like wiggly movements like this to clone different areas, and try to make it blend a little bit better. So that's the second one, and now let's do the same with the third stripe. And then let's go Alt, go to the clone stamp tool, hit Alt, select the area, and then just this one is not too bad. I'm going to select a little bit different area here, a little bit lighter color, and don't mind that. So it's looking good. So now I like that, and I'm going to hit Control S to save, and then File. You see, I just saved it, and then I want to close it. Okay, and the reason why I have to go either to Affinity Photo or Affinity Publisher to do that is because even here from in Affinity Designer, from the pixel persona, you don't have access to the clone stamp tool. And I tried to find it many times, customized tools, and it's not available here in my options for tools in the pixel persona in Affinity Designer. So that's why you have to go over to Affinity Photo and do it from there. So go back to the designer persona, close that, because I don't need to make any changes. And now it's looking good. I want to finish building the pattern. Let's see this. First I want to kind of duplicate these. So I'm going to select all three of them, hit Alt, it makes a duplicate in that same order, and then I kind of want to duplicate this one, and I want to yeah, maybe just 3 of each. I think that's gonna work. And then the next thing I want to do is to spread evenly across, but for that I want to put one that it's like right at the edge here, and then I want to select all of them, all of the stripes that I want to use, and then I hit over into the alignment tools and align horizontally, space horizontally, and that space them out, and apply that. I just want to group all those, and then I move them into my pattern, and there you go. I have a pattern that it's stripe pattern with mixed media lines, watercolor mixed media stripes. They're not all the same line, but I don't mind that right now. I think that's kind of cool, gives to the charm. I want to hide this rectangle because it's just my guide, and this is how the pattern is going to look like. One thing that I can do now is, because I know that the top and the bottom align, I can move some of these Let's see this one, if I want to move it. Let's see how it looks in that end. I can move them. See, on this one I could do the same thing that I did on this end here. Actually, is that a line or is that okay? So I could just move them. Let's see this one as well. Go to my selection. Let's see, I want to move this one just to have a little bit different. Yeah, and the other thing is they don't look like they're aligned anymore because I had that one at the end, but I can do the same thing. Select all of the layers and space horizontally, and I think that gives me better spacing in between them as well. Okay, so I played around a little bit with the background and I created some watercolor curves using the native watercolor brushes in Affinity Designer, and I did pink. May change the color later, but and then I did the green background. It's a background that I have in one of the other patterns in this one, because I want to try to see how they all look together. Kind of like what I see. I still want to play a little bit with these blending modes on this specific layer. I like something softer like that. It looks very nice like that, soft like that. So I was playing around with colors, so I'll show you how it's starting to look like. I kind of like this monochrome one. I like the blue, but not sure, and I like this one, but I may change and I flip it horizontal, and I think I like it better horizontal. So that's how I could my mini collection is starting to look like. I'm thinking it's going to be more yeah, I like that green monochrome like that, because it needs to be something simple with all the other colors and the other patterns. But I have options now that I can play around with, and I showed you how you can use your watercolor, bring them as stripes. Make sure that you use the clone stamp tool to make sure that you fix any borders or any edges, and now you have a blender pattern, fun stripes that you can use for your collection. Okay, so hope you like this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.